Hey, what's up, everybody? We live already. It's
We
your boy
live.
J
What's
Rock
up?
right here. I'm right here with Cali Jen and Sean. What is it? What's your channel
Sense by
name?
Sean.
Sense by Sean. There we go. Sense by Sean. Yeah. So I'm gonna put the link to the channels in the comment section. So when the stream's over, put the links right there, and you guys go feel free to check out those channels. Today we're gonna talk about um niche fragrances versus designer fragrances and the pros and cons to each one. And there's really no wrong answer here. They're both great and they both provide a lot of options, in my opinion. But some people will argue that, and there's no right or wrong answer. But the fun of it is talking about it. There's never gonna be an answer to that. But there's gonna be the fun part of the fun is the debate behind the nonsense. Hey, what's up, brother? Chilling.
Absolutely, man. I think
You
that's a
getting
good
ready?
point. There's so much to talk about with them. I think we could just run on tangents with this, but
Yeah,
it's cool.
definitely.
It's a good topic because
Yeah,
at the end
yeah,
of the day, everyone's got their opinions about both. So
yeah. Like first, let's ease into it. Starting off with, what do you guys think about like houses like Guerlain and Tom Ford? Some people say they're niche. Some people say they're designer. What do you think?
it's funny that you'd bring up Tom Ford so early. I didn't think I was gonna bust this guy out for a little while.
Ooh, which one's that one?
This is Plum Japonese.
How is it? I hear a lot of people like that one. I hear it's
It's
good.
fantastic. This is it's you gotta like Plum. I mean, of course.
Hey, what up? Yeah. We're gonna get into the topic of designers and niche right here.
Yeah. A lot of people say this one reminds them of Bond Number Nine's Andy Warhol, which, I mean, plum, it's a very specific note. So it would. You're not going to see plum everywhere. So when you see a well done plum, it kind of makes you think of Andy Warhol, especially if you've tried the big hyped, Sensual Obsessions, Kevin's version.
I've tried that. Nice fragrance.
So I like this one better than Andy Warhol because the dry down is lovely. It is so fantastic.
Okay.
And it has an oud base. So it's oud plum, gosh, on the oud dry down. This is not animalic. It's not hard to wear oud. It's good. It's good stuff. What's up, brother man?
What's up, Lincoln?
What do you
this
think?
Is my,
I got to shave. I'm looking a little hairy.
this is my good buddy, Sean. He has his own YouTube channel called Sense by Sean. If you've seen our live stream the other day, we actually went ahead and shouted him out as well as some other fellow reviewers. So definitely check his channel out. That's Sense by Sean. What's up, David? Appreciate you stopping by. We're pretty much talking about the topic of niche versus designer, the pluses, the negatives, things like that. We barely started, so really appreciate you guys tuning in.
What's up, David?
Yeah,
What's up,
how do you
Lincoln?
guys how do you guys separate that two? Like, what is considered niche to you? What is considered, like, for example, Tom Ford? You consider that designer or niche?
In my personal opinion, it depends because you know how they technically have the private blend. So I can see the higher quality fragrance in the private blend, but in my personal opinion, it's still a designer fragrance. I'm not knocking designers. I have tons of designers in my fragrances and in my collection, and some of my favorite fragrances are designers. I don't really believe personally that niche always is better than designer. I feel there's some really well done designers. What's up, Rush? Thank you for stopping
Rush,
by.
my guy. What's up, brother? Yeah, Cali, that's bomb, man. That's a great description because
Yeah.
I'm going to get on a bit of a tangent here, so feel free to interrupt me if I just start babbling.
Go for it.
I think when you're talking about a dog in the fight versus niche versus designer, you can argue all this conjecture. You can argue all this anecdotes of, oh, it's better, it's higher quality, they use different ingredients. That's neither here nor there. Not always, anyway. Some you can argue are better ingredients, but what you almost always get with niche that you rarely get with designers, because who are designers selling to? The masses. And it's department stores. Your guy going into Macy's has probably never smelled oud before in his life. Has probably never smelled real ambergris before in his life. So they're used to, what are your big notes? Your bergamot, lavender, vanilla, your everyday use notes. So what you get with niches, they're not afraid to cater to not everybody. They're not afraid to lift up this scent right here, Tom Ford, and say, hey, that 22-year-old college guy who's been wearing Bleu de Chanel his whole life, I know he probably won't like this. And they're okay with that. That's my biggest distinction. Niche will give you interesting, artistic fragrances more often than designer because they're okay with not pleasing everybody. They know that's going to
Yeah,
happen.
they're going for it. Well, just the prices tell you. In my opinion, I separate niche and designer based on the price.
Yeah.
If I see a Tom Ford that's $70, I go, that's designer. If I see a Tom Ford that's 300, I say that's a niche.
Yeah.
I think
Not saying the quality is or the same, but I'm saying that's a niche price. So to me, when I say niche means like exclusive for like a smaller group. So in giving you that price, it's telling you, I don't want everybody wearing this. I want people that
Yeah.
make different amount of money, dress in
Yeah.
a suit for work to buy this, not the masses. So they kind of want to purposely with the price separate themselves from the casual wearer.
Yeah. I think that describes what Tom Ford's going for perfectly. He doesn't want everybody wearing his fragrances.
they cater to a specific type of fragrance enthusiast, in my personal opinion. Like you guys are both stating, like obviously everyone knows that designers are mass appealing, but that's not always necessarily the case. You have plenty of niche fragrances that are really easy to wear, that are considered, like people consider them borderline because they're so easy to wear. Like Parfums of Marty Layton is a perfect example. It's a really easy niche fragrance to wear. It does please the masses. Aventus is another one, really easy to wear, pleases the masses. In my personal opinion, they both do have quality. I can see how people say they're played out, so they don't consider them niche. But in my personal opinion, how I distinguish the two is niche is designed for a specific type of fragrance enthusiast, whereas designers, anyone can pretty much wear. You can give it as a gift, and 9 times out of 10, someone's gonna enjoy it. Whereas, like I said, niche, you get into the crazy fragrances, like Sean was saying, the crazy oud, a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Hey, David, thanks for the warm welcome, man. I'm happy to be here. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I can talk and talk. So
I used to talk about that with rent. I'll be like, you see these nice areas and all that. I go, they raise the rent for a certain price so that only certain type of people can live there, so it can stay nice. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same with the fragrances. Like, you exclude people by raising the prices. It's like a marketing strategy. I don't want someone that's like in some sweats or something saying I'm wearing Tom Ford. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no. Let me see. Let me look at the comments real quick. We
they
got
don't want a
David in here.
17-year-old.
yeah, we've got some rolling in.
Yeah, you want a 17-year-old kid. That's not what you want your brand to be. That's not the vision, which is fine. It's a marketing strategy. There's different strokes for different folks. Which in that case, for stuff like that, I kind of don't mind the idea of clones. Maybe somebody else likes to wear that fragrance, that smell, but they don't have the money for it. So I do like it for certain reasons. I don't hate clones, but I don't collect them myself. I don't really like buying them too much because I don't know. I don't know. There's something about that that's not my jam. But I don't hate on other people that do buy them for that reason as well. We could even include, chat about that now that I'm thinking about it. I should have put on the title, talk about clones as well.
Absolutely.
Let me see. We got 504 in here. Thank you for stopping by. Behind the Nonsense says, I like Boss the scent line over a lot of niche. Call me weird. I have tried some of the Boss line, and I do think that the Boss line is really good. For me personally, I do like it. It's a nice line. Lincoln says, I think I may have to rewatch this, guy. Sorry, trying to spend some undivided attention with my stepbrother. Thank you, Lincoln, for stopping by.
Thanks, Lincoln.
Rush,
Glad to have you, buddy.
great seeing Sean in the mix. Yeah, man, we're trying to go ahead and do like these live streams with include different people. I've been talking to Sean here and there, and I told him anytime he wanted to go ahead and jump on with us, we're just basically trying to go ahead and get different people's opinions. Sean's a really awesome dude. Was happy to have him here, happy to get his opinion, and just go ahead and try to mix with the newer reviewers. I'm still fairly new myself, so it's just awesome chatting with Cali and my buddy Sean here.
Okay, here's a big one, guys. Everybody in the chat, feel free to join in on this. What do you think about people say the fragrance game? I barely started collecting a year ago, so I can't say how it was back in the days or anything, but I know how fragrances I wore were and how they changed over the years. They get watered down. So people say that, the fragrance game, that people that have been collecting 10 years ago has been watered down. Designer is the same as niche. Niche is the same as designer. Niche has designer, lower price fragrances, and designer has their higher price lines, if you will. So now they both have niche and they both have designer. Well, what do you guys think about that? Do you think everything's muddled in together nowadays?
So you're saying that they kind of intertwine. In my personal opinion, I can see where they would intertwine price point likewise. I definitely think that some of these designers are getting up there, like especially with the Tom Ford, the private blends. You know what I mean? And even the Guerlain. A lot of these brands, they get up there high in price, and you do have some of the more like the niche where they come down in price. So I can kind of see where they're intertwined. But like going back to what I said earlier, I think the easiest way to distinguish the two is the wearability. Like designers, they're mass appealing, easy to wear, signature scents. You know what I mean? You can gift them. Whereas like, let's say you give lay-in exclusive to somebody, they're not always gonna. It's not always gonna be a hit. The oud might be too strong for like a casual fragrance. Where like when I first got into fragrances, I was like all about Sauvage, Aqua de Gio Profumo, easy to wear. You know what I mean? Like blues are my favorite. Blue Chanel, things like that were easy to wear. But when I got into niche and I started wearing more niche fragrances, now that you come back to some of these fragrances and you smell them, they might come off like a little synthetic. It might not be your same vibe that you had when you first started. So I just think like as your journey continues, you build different taste. But in my personal opinion, niche and designer, I agree, they intertwine.
Yeah, my bad. Let me answer this question. It says, so is Mancera niche or designer? To me, Mancera is like a higher end designer type of at least the ones I've got, I don't find them too challenging or anything, but they do smell good, and they have some type of uniqueness to them where I do feel they're if I go by price, I would say it's like a higher end designer, to just make it in lamest terms.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you: Is price your? That was going to be a question I was going to have later in the stream. When somebody says, "Is this fragrance niche or not?" or somebody brings up niche fragrances at all, what's your definitive go-to? Because people have different opinions on what makes something niche or not. There's a dictionary definition, and then there's an opinionated definition. And I think those get blurred a little sometimes. What is the real definition and what is the consensus? For you both, this is for both of you guys, what would you say is like the number one thing that's going to tell you if something's niche or designer?
Yeah, to me, it'd be the price. It'd be like if you have Versace, it's designer brand, but then you have these new Versace that are gonna come out that are like $300. I'm like, that's no longer designer. That's like a niche scent that you're gonna be buying.
Actually, Jen, I'm curious on your opinion, but because you brought up something like Versace and price and stuff, so what is your opinion on Dior Sauvage, your designer, your mainstream, kind of like the designer poster boy?
Yeah, well, that's like an obvious. Yeah, that's obvious.
Versus Dior's private line, Dior's higher end.
Yeah, to me, Dior's higher end stuff is like a niche.
Yeah,
it's a niche quality sense you're buying. Therefore, it's niche because the quality is better, the price is higher. That's to compete with any niche stuff out there.
I agree that it totally competes. It totally has a place. Like I said, they definitely cross over. They definitely intertwine. But I'm like the dictionary definition. Niche to me means that they specifically only make fragrances. They don't make, clothes. They don't make bags. They don't make anything else. I like the dictionary definition. It's just a lot more easier for me to explain. I definitely see that some designers are up there with the niche quality. I'm not saying that they're not.
You know those fragrances that look like a cigar?
Cuba.
Yeah, those
Should
Cuba.
I go grab it? I got it.
They're like $10. Yeah. I don't believe they make clothes or anything now. So would that be like niche?
The line gets muddled there. It does, because gosh, if you got on the Facebook groups or on your YouTube videos saying, "Yeah, I've got this niche Cuba Gold, the very exclusive brand," get the pitchforks out, man. People would be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So that's where and this isn't me. I'm playing devil's advocate because it's fun, but that's where the line starts to get blurred and fall apart. So I think that's where you get so many of those opinionated opinions or opinionated reasons on what makes something niche or not, because no definition fits perfectly. Not a single one. There's a hole in each one.
100%.
Yep. Everything is like life. Nothing's black, nothing's gray. Nothing's black, nothing's white. Most of the things are gray. Most things are blurred.
Comments down below, fellas.
Let me see what we got. Go ahead. Hey, Cali, go ahead and hit us with some of the clicks on there. I see we got Robus in here. We got Rush still here behind the fence. We got Medina. Thank you for stopping by. What's going on, brother?
Nice to see you in the chat.
Appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're getting into the hot topic of niche designers and where has everything been muddled together? Has the game been watered down? Is Is niche now designer? Is designer now acting niche? Is everything just the same now?
Yeah. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring with. We've got price defining whether it's niche or not. We've got the dictionary definition of what a niche anything is. Do they only make that? Or are they kind of exclusive? Is it limited quantity? For me, and I think it's completely subjective, but I still think you can get some consensus from the community is the fragrance an artistic expression? Did the perfumer make this to show what they can do, to show off their talent, to make you make a statement when you wear it? Or did they make this to make a lot of money and because they know everybody will like it? So that's what it means to me. Bleu de Chanel. Do you think anybody would consider this an artistic expression? Do you think anybody would consider that out of the box or exciting?
Yeah, that's definitely not outside the box. It doesn't push any borders.
This is the masses.
Yeah. But those need to be there. I mean, those have a place.
100%.
For me, designer is much more important. As far as what you like is what you like, but as far as what's more important, designer is much more important because it's more important to please 80% of the people than the 10% or whatever, you know?
It's a great point.
I agree.
If only niche existed, the fragrance community or just people wearing fragrances would be a fraction of what it is.
Yeah, it would. It'd be almost non-existent.
Yeah. Those people are important too, even those who are super into it.
I also think designer fragrances, those companies are much bigger, make much more money. So whatever's bigger, whatever's more popular, whatever more people wear, they set the trends to what's next to be in style. You know what I mean? Like this, they control, not the audience controls what we buy, right? So we kind of control it, but they put the stuff out there and they're the ones that give us what options we have. So I think the designer brands, like the big ones like Chanel and Dior, Versace, they kind of control where the fragrance game goes and what's the next trend.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you stopping by, dog, man. Thank you, bro. If you go ahead and hit the like button for me, that would really help me out. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you stopping by. What's up, Making Sense? I appreciate you stopping by. Cologne does smell good. It is awesome.
We got some love in the chat. Love to see it.
You're entitled to your own opinion, dog. Hey, brother. Give me a second real quick. You're entitled to your own opinion, man. If you feel that way, God bless you. God bless you either way. Got no problem with you. You can keep doing your videos. I'll keep thumbs upping them. I am a subscriber. Keep putting them out. One thing you should work on, like myself, is the lighting. My lighting's not the greatest, so you might want to try and work on the lighting. Just a little bit of pointers. But I really appreciate your videos, man. It's kind of giving me some views. So thank you very much. I'm a subscriber to your channel. I do appreciate the support, good or bad. Hopefully,
it's free real estate. It's free real estate.
Yeah, yeah. Those videos just let them keep rolling. For just skip to the next comment.
Let's do it.
So we're here. We've kind of gotten our definitions going. I kind of want to talk about this little brand right here and what it's become over the years.
Let's do it.
Now, what do you think of the term mainstream niche or designer niche? Does a brand lose its credibility of being niche? Does a brand lose its credibility of being exclusive and high end the more hype it gets? Is hype kind of like a detriment when you start talking like that? Because people call Creed very overrated because it was Creed.
I would agree with that. I think they are overrated. I think they're nice fragrances, but there's a few. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some I really like. I like Millicinium Imperial. That's a good one. I mean, I wouldn't say they suck or anything like that. They're good fragrances, but I don't think they're like the end all be all, like Aventus or not even just Aventus, just the brand in general.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, when I say that, I mean any niche brand.
I would say the same about Parfums de Marly. I think they're nice, but I mean, there's a lot of other brands out there. The longer I'm in the game, the longer I try out other stuff that don't get talked about much that I feel are probably better. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, why do they talk about this so much when this other fragrance like smells a lot better than this one?
In my personal opinion, the reason behind a lot of the hype, in my personal opinion, is due to what the higher reviewers do. You know what I mean? They're going to tell you if a fragrance is good or not. and people are going to go based on that decision. If someone tells you Aventus is good and you have a big following, people are going to go check out Aventus. With that being said, I do really like Aventus. Do I think it's one of the best fragrances? For me, yeah. But like Sean was talking about, it's definitely really hyped. So it does lose credibility, especially when they're charging $400 a bottle. Now, you don't have to pay $400 a bottle if you're in the Facebook groups, if you're a reviewer, if you're a fragrance enthusiast. You know that. You know you can probably pick this bottle up for around $225 if you don't really care about the batch. But 100% agree with what Sean was asking or saying. It does lose its credibility. It's not considered niche anymore. It's like borderline niche designer. In my personal opinion, this is like a fragrance you would wear when you're barely branching into niche. It does have quality, but people want what they can't have. If everyone has Aventus, they're not gonna want it. They want what they can't have. You know what I mean? The real fragrance enthusiasts.
Yeah,
They
that's
like
one
this
thing I was gonna talk about. To me, yeah, Creed is stuff that's pretty easy to wear. It's not challenging or anything like that. And it's not just the YouTube groups. I mean, Creed was a brand that was pretty popular before I
to
even knew
begin with. Oh yeah.
the YouTube community or anything. Creed was a brand that was like, it's not as famous as like your designers, but it was pretty famous. Like people that wanted something a little more expensive would get Creed because it was a little more expensive, but it was still, I wouldn't say simple, but it was still something that wasn't like complicated either. You know what I mean?
It appeals to the masses, but with the quality behind it. That's my personal.
Yeah, it has better quality, but how you said, it has better quality, and they have a little bit of depth to them as well, but they are mass appealing fragrances. So does that mass niche, or is that mass appealing? Or because people complain about mass appealing all the time.
In my personal opinion, it's borderline. Do I think it's a niche fragrance? To me, it is. Am I saying it's one of the best niche fragrances out there? In my personal opinion, it is. Your taste might be different. Someone might not like Aventus, and that's cool. You know what I mean? It's all subjective. But what I can say is, Aventus and Creed and Parfums de Marly, in my personal opinion, are borderline, meaning they're mass appealing, they're easy to wear, they're like the gateway to the niche world. It's like a step that you can take. You know it's going to be safe. You know it has quality. The price point, in my personal opinion, is ridiculous. Some of the fragrances are hyped, but you just got to be subjective. You got to go ahead and see what you like, test them out, get a sample. Do not go out and buy a full bottle of Creed, especially at the price.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Robes.
Absolutely.
Really where designer head moves into niche, it's an easier transition, more easier to process. Yeah, I completely agree. And I would say Parfums de Marly is also kind of the same.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
100%.
the easier transition as you ease your way in, because if you just go from design or something that smells real nice to something that's like out there, you're gonna be turned away pretty quick. You're gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, so yeah, you need to ease your way up there. I agree with that.
The best thing I could think of is if you go from like Blue de Chanel, if you go to, like from Sauvage to like Chemi Tempest, the oud in that is like really strong. It's kind of like a dirty oud. It's like an earthy oud. It's not like mass appealing. You're not gonna have you might not like it. Whereas if you were to go like the stepping stone route and try Aventus, try Parfums de Marly, try Mancera, try Montel, try things that are really easy to wear.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'm gonna give you an example. My first two niche bottles I bought was Carlisle and Percival. I tried Carlisle and I was like, nah, like this ain't my jam. I wasn't feeling it at all. And then I tried the Percival, and the Percival to me was like something a little more wearable, something I enjoyed. I was like, I could see myself wearing this every day. And the Carlisle I wore it a few times, and I wasn't sold on it. And that was my, I've been collecting now for a year. So at that time, I had been collecting like 3 months, and it was just too much. Like, not the price I'm talking about, like the fragrance itself was too much. I was like, I can't rock this. And maybe now if I go back and revisit, I might like it. But yeah, that wasn't something that was as easy to process, in my opinion. I was kind of turned off by it. I was almost like, you know what, this is more for like maybe a woman at my age. And it was so nice because I was like, it doesn't smell bad. It's just not something I would walk around wearing at that time. And maybe if I revisit it, that was like 8 months ago. Maybe I smelled a lot of stuff since then, been exposed to a lot more scents. So maybe my opinion on it could completely change. Again, that one was one that was a little more challenging to me.
Robes, I 100% agree with you, bro. Parfums de Marly is very hyped. I've done a review on Parfums de Marly. and I rated them 7, 8. The only fragrance that I actually wear and that I actually think is worth having is Leighton. That's my personal opinion. That's the only fragrance that I found that it's wearable. It's really nice, mass appealing, easy to wear. But the rest of them, I wasn't too happy with them. I didn't really give them a solid ranking. I didn't really recommend them. 7s, 6s, and 8s, in my personal opinion. Like you're saying, it's overhyped, and that kind of does suck because then you have people who are going out spending their hard-earned money, and then they don't like the fragrance. They're trying to get rid of it. So I 100% agree with you.
Corrado was I like Corrado. That one was pretty good. I have some decants. I might buy a bottle later when I finish them because I enjoyed that one enough. Where I was like, there's something I could get into. It's kind of sweet, but it's not like I wouldn't say it's gourmand, because it has like tobacco in it, I believe, as well. Something when it's too sweet where it feels edible. Like I don't want something that smells like apple pie or French toast or cookies or I don't want any of that stuff.
Those are gourmands, bro. Those are good.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I got a question for both of you now. I know my answer, but I want to hear your guys' answer first. In your personal opinion, does designer compete with niche? I mean, go ahead with Sean.
You must mean does niche compete with designer? The designer's gonna upload it all day.
In terms of sales, in terms of likability, in terms of quality. What do you mean?
Quality. Not saying designers have appeal to the masses. Quality-wise, in your personal opinion, do they compete?
I mean, it's tough because, again, I think the difference between Mancera, which, again, I would definitely argue is a niche brand, Tom Ford, which some would argue isn't based on the dictionary definition, and which most would argue is not only objectively and based on the dictionary definition, all fall into different categories when you talk about quality. Mancera, what are they known for? Being kind of a stepping stone into the niche world because they're very well priced. They're plentiful in the YouTube groups. If you type in looking for Mancera, you can pick up a bottle of Cedra, you can pick up a bottle of red tobacco, you can pick up a bottle of Hindu Kush, Oud Vanille. I mean, anything for what, $80, $90?
$80,
really solid price. So this is a great stepping stone into the niche world. Not only are they known for their great prices, but they're known for being long lasting. I mean, look at red tobacco and the impact it's made. But then you look at something like Creed, and people would toss this behind their shoulder and grab their bottle of cool water and say, this is $16. It's way better. So when you argue quality wise, yeah, I think designer easily keeps up with quality ingredients with good fragrances. To me, in my heart, it's that artistic expression. It's that, okay, we know not everyone's going to like this. Okay, this is going to, go out and wear tobacco oud and see how many people you might offend that are going to be like, would Bleu de Chanel, would Chanel, would Paco Rabanne, would Dior, would Versace dream of producing a fragrance that they know might offend some people? Hell no. No way.
Yeah. What about like when people, you ever seen when you say I don't like this fragrance and they go, it's because your nose hasn't evolved yet.
Developed.
You're not educated on fragrances yet. You're new. Like, what do you think about that mentality?
I'm with it. Go for it, Cali.
In my personal opinion, I agree. I'm not saying that you're going to like a fragrance no matter how far along you are into your fragrance journey. I just believe if you start with designers, you work your way up and you subtly sample different fragrances. You try different niche brands rather than go out and blow your money on bottles you have not sampled. I feel that's the best way because you can kind of get your nose used to different fragrances. You can kind of see what you like. You can go ahead and test them. You can compare them. Whereas if you just start out with, like he said, tobacco oud, or you just start out with something like oud wood, even though it's an easy fragrance to wear, the oud, and that's very subtle, very nice, very woodsy. If you just go straight into that, you might not like it. Whereas if you start with designer, you work your way up, sample different niche brands, I do believe it makes a difference. Like I said, had I gone, the first fragrance I got was Sauvage. Some of you guys might think Sauvage is trash. You're entitled to your personal opinion. You might think it's, very synthetic. In my personal opinion, when I first started it, and even to this day, I like it. It's a dumb reach for me, easy to wear. I know Cali Reviews doesn't like it. I respect his opinion. But, I started with this one, tried out some other blues, worked my way up, started getting, my first bottle was Aventus. tried Noxos, sampled them, started getting into it, and I was able to appreciate the quality behind the scents and not just think like this is trash. Even a fragrance I don't like, I always give it its due justice. I'm still here to basically give my honest thoughts. I'm always going to tell you, does it project, does it last, you know what I mean? Whereas if you just hop straight into niche, I think it makes a big difference. That's my personal opinion. What do you think,
I
Kelly?
will tell you this. This is from the time I've been checking out stuff. There's one place where I give Creed a lot of credit. It's hard to make a fresh fragrance that's fresh, can be citrusy or whatever, that smells good and smells of high quality. Because most times I notice when people buy niche, because it has these dense ingredients, like a thick rose or oud, automatically people go, oh, it smells richer, so it sounds more expensive, or, whatever. But to me, and even if it's such a cheap brand, if it has those ingredients like a heavy rose or a thick iris, it's always gonna smell like richer and more thick, and it's gonna have more oomph to it, So to me, that doesn't necessarily mean it's higher quality. It's just the ingredients they're using. So people think, oh, because you're using these notes, it's better. It's niche, it's more expensive, right? And they do a lot of those. Now, give me one that smells expensive and all, but it's a fresh scent. Like smells like lemon or something, like some type of freshie. That's why I give Creed props, because they have some freshies, yet they still smell niche and high quality, and they have depth to them. They're not basic. You know what I mean? Like they go through little progressions as the day goes, as the week goes by. The day goes by, the hours go by. They do change a little. So for a fragrance brand, like a fragrance that they do freshies and that are still niche, I find that a lot more harder for companies to do, or if they do them, they don't get like the credit for them than it is when they use these other heavy notes. If that makes sense, because I notice most of the niche fragrances that people hype up and stuff are like heavier, dense notes. And I go, what about it seems like that it's harder to make a freshie that smells expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now, I want to kind of revisit Callie's question, because I think it's really interesting because it applies so well to me. Some others may agree with it too, but I actually talked about it in one of my videos, shameless plug, in my top 5 fragrance tips. It really, like, from my heart, revisiting fragrances, especially if you're newer in the game, is so important. I would not have like a quarter of my collection or a half of my collection if I stuck with my original opinion. Hey, what's up? See you, Patrick. If I stuck with my original opinion and said, all right, I don't like this is out the door, this is gone, there are so many fragrances that I love now that I never would have ended up keeping.
I agree.
And I think revisiting, I think life experiences, I think age, I think smelling other fragrances, there's probably 10 different factors that could change how you like a fragrance. You could have had a cold that day, or you could have been in a bad mood and you smelled it and it's just that one note hit you wrong. I've smelled scents a month or two later and I was like, is this the same thing? This is awesome. So it's that crazy that literally months later it's been that crazy. So yeah, I do think if you say you don't like something, the proper response isn't, oh, your nose just isn't used to it, or oh, this is good, you're wrong. It's more of like, that's fine and that might stay, but I want to hear that opinion again in 6 months.
Yeah, a lot of times age is a good one, because it's kind of like the people that try a lot of fragrances and they ease into the niche ones because they smelled everything, so they got tired of it, and they're just excited that it's something different. Not necessarily even good a lot of the time. I know that a lot of time is not that great, but
It's different.
New and it's different, so you're excited. Oh, finding a new, different scent DNA, so they're pumped up over that. And I would say age has a lot to do with that too. You go quicker through stuff when you're reviewing, you're buying a bunch of fragrances. But you're a casual person, you're smelling fragrances, and you've been using Aqua di Gio, you've been using your Freshie Sauvage for 10 years. You start getting tired of those scents, so you ease into like your Fougères, and you start your taste change because you get bored of the same thing. If that makes sense. So I think people that smell a million fragrances, that's why they like the niche ones, not because they're always better, but you just get tired of smelling the same stuff. It's like I love pizza when I was 15, but I was eating it like every day till I was like 20. By the time I'm 20, I'm like, you know what? I want some like shrimp tacos or something.
Yeah.
You switch it up.
Absolutely. I'm with you, man. Like I said, my original reason for stepping into the niche world, I thought niche was like cool, and maybe it was a prestige thing or like a class thing of like, ooh, look what I have, look what I'm wearing, and you get to tell people.
That's a big part of it.
I'm wearing Creed, I'm wearing Bond number 9, I'm wearing Killian, and actually, now that that's in my head, I want to talk about something related to that in a minute. But the reason I really started looking was because I had been to my local Macy's probably 6 times in the last 2 to 3 months. Whether I was there on purpose to go look at fragrances or whether we were there for something else, I would always stop by the fragrance counter. And I was like, oh my God, if I got to smell Dior Sauvage one more time, if this lady comes up to me and says, oh my gosh, look at this YSL Y80P, it's the best thing since sliced bread, I'm going to scream. So I made the trip up to, I don't know if out in California, do you guys have Saks Fifth Avenue?
Saks Fifth Avenue, yeah.
Saks Fifth Avenue. So it's a higher end.
It is Sense by Sean 504.
Yeah.
Check out his channel.
The fellow reviewer, bro, go ahead and check out his channel. He has some
Sense by Sean, SEAN. But anyways, I finally made the trip up to Saks Fifth Avenue because they carry Creed, they carry Killian, Bond number 9. They carry many more niche brands. And I wanted to smell something different. I wanted to have my socks knocked off. I wanted to smell oud wood and be like, I've never smelled anything like this. I wanted to smell, Black Phantom. I wanted to smell something that was going to make me appreciate fragrances different than a bergamot top note and a lavender mid note. And there's nothing wrong with
citruses.
Yeah, but I mean, gosh, you go to your Macy's or even your Nordstrom's, really, if you go to the designer rack, you're going to smell a lot of quality stuff, but you're going to smell similar notes over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Not always.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Not always.
Yeah,
they work.
It's going to be like 10 brands doing the same fragrance, just who does it better.
Yeah, and they work. That's why they keep it.
They're easy to process. They smell nice. It's like that game Kratos from God of War. I don't know if you've heard of that game, God of War.
Say it one more time.
God of War, the video game.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So there's God of War. Then I don't know if you remember when Dante's Inferno came out. But like, it's a knockoff. The controls are the same. I'm like, do you like God of War? Yeah. And you say this one is the same, then you're gonna like that one too.
Yeah.
But it's not Kratos,
No.
But it's still just as fun, like when you play it.
It depends what you're looking for. There's no reason to hate it because it's similar, because you'll probably still like it. But if you're looking for something different, it's gonna piss you off.
Yeah, you're like, I just finished playing God of War. I don't want. Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't want to play the same game. Like, give me Call of Duty or something.
So that's what sent me into the niche world, because I had to realize what else was out there. Now that I have, I can. If you got your line here, I can jump back and forth between niche, designer, understand the subtleties, and appreciate both. 504, man, I see you all over the groups and everything. Scott, nice to actually meet you, brother. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, definitely. What did I say about what about this? Because I see people, some people have like 500 bottles, 600. I have probably around 100 right now. And I felt a certain way when I would buy niche at first, and I feel that's gone a little bit. Let me see what you guys think about this. Like, I would buy fragrances, a lot of designers, then I'll take my time, try out a few niche ones, see which one I like. Once there's one I actually really like, and I'm like, this one I like enough where I think it warrants spending $180 or whatever, where I feel like I'm not throwing my money away. I'm like, you know what, this one is worth that price. So when I buy it, I feel like it's something special. Like, I have my 5 designers, then I have my expensive bottle. So I wear this one. It's something special. It's more expensive. It's not something I would wear every day. I wear like on weekends or something. Then as you start buying more and more bottles, that feeling goes away. Now it's just another purchase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now your niche are just your regular, just another bottle.
I think in general, for me, niche, designer, if you follow my channel, you know I have a lot more niche than I do have designer. I do have a couple designers in my collection, but the majority of it is niche. But I 100% agree with what you're saying. When I first started, it was like, oh, I was really hyped to get this fragrance, really looking forward to it. But the more you start to buy certain fragrances, like you're saying, it's just like another bottle. I do love the fragrances, but I 100% agree with what you're saying. After a while, after you get to a certain point of fragrances, you got to kind of try and slow your roll, and you got to decide, is it really worth especially when we're spending $200, $300 a bottle. A lot of the fragrances in my collection, they retail price is like 400, but on the Facebook groups, you're able to get them. Hey, you're able to get them from like 200 to $300. You know what I mean? Hey, it's none of that negativity, Sean. You're able to get them like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it has to be something like you're saying that's worth it. It has to be something you're passionate about. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and collect dust. But the good thing, you know, when we're reviewing fragrances, you might not like a fragrance. I'm able to pass it. I might not like one. I'm able to pass it on to Sean. Sean gets his use out of it. He's able to pass it to Cali. That's what I really like about the fragrance community. We're able to go ahead and pass around different fragrances. You know what I mean? Give people's different opinion on them. So I can see that's like a good reason for me why I keep my fragrances coming. Another reason is I give them at a really good price.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna fill you in on something about myself. So I'm a math geek. This is gonna sound like I'm going nowhere with this, but I promise that it has a point. I'm an economics major and I love math, and this was like a day of me kind of realizing what was going on. I was like, man, I have my collection sitting up here, and my fiance always talks about like you're gonna have enough fragrance until the day you die. There's no reason for you to ever buy another bottle. So I did.
Yeah.
I would say anywhere from 4 to 6 sprays a day is going to be.
What up, Miami? I just saw you right now. Kind of haven't been paying too much attention to the chat right now.
Yeah, this is great opinions and stuff on here. So I'd say 4 to 6 sprays a day. If you're talking about the average person, is a great place to be. So I went ahead and added up every single bottle that I had, whether it be 50, 75, 100 milliliters, every single bottle I had into a milliliter number. Your average 4 sprays, 30 days, 8 milliliters. So roughly you're going to use between 8 and 10 milliliters a month, yada, yada, dumb math. I went ahead and did it and found out that I had enough fragrance sitting on my counter for the next 79 and a half years. So that day that I figured out, that's literally, and I'm not done. I love browsing Facebook groups. I check Fragrantica daily. I always am acquiring new stuff. And when I realized I had that much fragrance, it dawned on me that there's no reason to differentiate. This is super special. This needs to sit or not. The only reason I wouldn't wear something over something else is if I feel that it is meant for that situation better. A good example of that for me is Creed Royal Oud. I love it. My fiance loves it, but I find it impossible to wear daily, impossible to wear unless there's a good reason for it. But for me, if you're in this hobby and have a collection like a lot of other people do, don't get something if you're not going to love it and wear it all the time. Wear one of the lines from Tom Ford, and I really like it. I don't agree with everything he says, but if you have an awesome fragrance, why not be generous with it? Why would you smell good when you can smell great? That's
a great point. Like me, this one. I took my time testing it out, thinking about it. I was like, is it worth the price? Because it's pretty expensive. I was like, I don't really like to spend over $100 for a bottle. I constantly repeat that. I always go, you know what? At your online sites, $100 for a bottle, you buy a bottle that's like $250, but you could buy them for like 100 something online. And this one's still kind of expensive. Even online, it's still pretty pricey. And it felt like a special purchase to me when I got that. It smells good. It's niche, but it's not the most difficult thing to wear, but it goes through a lot of changes during the wear, which I really like. Like, it's pretty complex, yet it's not like super challenging. That felt special to me. And when I bought like Blade or Perrot and Percival, like I didn't have that feel. I was like, yeah, I like them, but I didn't feel like like I just bought something like special or anything like that. And I noticed that more fragrances you buy, that's one lucky thing, but you need content, you need to get bottled, and also part of it collecting is collecting the bottle. But when you have just a few fragrances, you build like a relationship with the scent. You know what I mean? Like people know you by that scent, like, oh yeah, it's so and so, like, cause you're wearing it all the time, and you learn to like really, it's your thing, that's your fragrance. And when you're wearing like a different fragrance every day, sometimes it's hard to like really appreciate a scent. It can be great, but you just wear it once in a while, so you're just breezing by. You're not like really soaking it in.
Absolutely. I stand by my bedside, my cabinet where I keep all my fragrances, because I know I'll never get to wear everything that I own. And some of my favorites that I have no intention of wearing in the following day, week, I have a box of tester strips with probably thousands of it. I just like to appreciate my fragrances because that's what they are to me. I love to wear them, but if I'm not going to wear this in the next week or two, I'm going to just sit there and appreciate it and love it because that's what it is to me.
Nah, your videos are good. Miami, I don't remember saying that. That was funny to me right here. Say 2 thumbs up on the videos. Let's see, cologne, it makes me happy. Yeah, it's always, you know how Outlaw Frag says there's never a bad time to smell good.
504 Man Fragrance Reviews. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I don't know if a lot of people know about me, but I'm own my own photography business. So I've been doing the whole photography and cameras and cinematography for a long time. So I pride myself in making sure my stuff looks good. Hopefully the content and stuff people appreciate too. But if I can do one thing right and make the videos look good, then I'm doing something right. So I appreciate the kind words, brother.
Yeah, that's the thing though with I think when you're a collector and when you're or especially also like if you review fragrances, you're a YouTuber, you like to review stuff. But even if you don't review stuff, but you're a collector, logic a lot of times goes out the window. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
You're not even trying it out. You just order it.
I'm a victim of hype, just like a lot of people are. I have blind bought. I have one that's very recent to me that I gifted to my brother is Bentley for Men Intense. It is not my thing, and I barely looked up the notes.
There's a lot of hype behind that one, man.
And also, it was very inexpensive, so I don't feel so bad about inexpensive blind buys or inexpensive hype buys.
You can pick them up for about like $30, something like that.
Yeah, if that. If you're on FragranceNet every day, I see it dip below $28, $27 all the time. And again, I have my boozy fragrances that I like, namely Pure Malt. I love Pure Malt, but one of my very first designer fragrances that I ever got given was Dark Rebel, and I despised it from the second I pulled the lid off. I am not a black leather jacket. I'm not a dark, mysterious man. It's just not me, but my brother is. He rides a motorcycle. He wears a leather jacket to work. He's an auto mechanic, and that's just who he is in his blood. He likes that rugged, leathery thing. So I actually gave him not only Dark Rebel, but Bentley for Men. So yeah, you're gonna pull the trigger on some bad ones, or at least bad ones in your sense. But that's kind of part of it.
Yeah, because I remember before I got into the collecting aspect, you go to the mall, you try out a few, you're there for like an hour and a half, trying out each one, see which one you kind of like. Go back later. You look online, the prices to order it online. Which one? Oh, you know what? I like this one. Well, I'll order it online when I get home. So the whole process to it. You know, it took me a day or two, try them out at the store, and then I made an order. Now it's like you just hear about it on a video. Let me log on and order that shit.
Nah, bro.
It isn't even a thing no more. I just click on the trigger to just order something. And before it was gonna wear every day. Part of it is also with collecting is when you only have 5 or 6, you're like, I know I'm gonna be wearing this every day, so it has to be something I like. When you have enough fragrances, you're like, I'll just order if I don't like it. I have other stuff to wear anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
That's another way.
I think logic kind of goes out the window. You just do things you wouldn't do before, like when it comes to the way you buy things and the way you order. Like before, I don't think
I get to a certain amount.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever spend $150, $200 on a bottle or something. Like with $100, I'll be like, you know what, I'm buying probably like 2 or maybe 3, like with around 100. And now it's like, I don't really overthinking. I'm just like, okay, as long as it's around 100. Now I'm at that point where I'm like, if it's like 150 or something, I'm like, then I gotta try it out. I'm not blind buying stuff at that price because then I don't want to start getting in trouble money-wise. You know what I mean? I don't want to fall in debt or anything.
Sure.
The only good thing about if you buy a fragrance that's high in price, if it's niche quality, with the Facebook groups, you're able to find someone who's looking for said fragrance, and you're at least able to recuperate your money. You might not profit off it depending on how full the bottle is, whatever, but you're at least able to recuperate your money. Like if people already know you, if you're known in the groups, you've done sales, you've done trades, they're more likely to go ahead and pick it up off your hands. But I felt falling guilty to that numerous times. Like I'll go out and instead of like you'll blind buy it. You'll see something come out or it's new, you want to go ahead and pick it up. You don't like it, you're able to trade it off for something that you do like. That's the only thing. But if you're not in the fragrance community, in the groups, you might not be able to. So I can definitely see you get stuck with a fragrance you don't like. You spend $200 on it, and it's just collecting dust. So I definitely recommend.
Making sense. I prefer the term influencer instead of reviewer. Okay, so I think so. I think everybody here is a reviewer, right?
The majority
Or at least a content creator.
A good question. Yeah, is everybody here? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh, what's up, George? I didn't even see George's Jens right here.
Yeah, he popped in.
Yeah. I think
Thank you, sir.
I think everybody here makes videos. So everybody check out each other's channels, brothers. Click on the icons and check out each other's channels. Subscribe. Check out each other's videos.
Much better, making sense. That's my full title. That's what it says on my desk, anyway. George Gent, see your stuff in the review groups all the time. Awesome stuff, brother. I appreciate the love, man. Much appreciate that. Love when there's love in the chat. Love when there's love in the community. I've told Jesus this multiple times, and I know this is a little out of left field, but I felt like I need to say it, man. I'm here to have fun. Fragrances are fun, man, aren't they, guys? Like, it's
that's what hobbies are for in general, are to distract you from your everyday life, where you have we have problems in our everyday life. Social media, to kind of escape that for a while and hang out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I have drama in my life that that's enough. I don't need more online and stuff.
I 100% agree, bro. When you're able to click with people, when you're able to live stream like we're doing, it's totally awesome. Go ahead and answer questions. It's 100% awesome. Like you're saying, it just distracts from your everyday things. It's like a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be
sports. Like sports. I watch sports and they're enjoyable. We don't have to like the same favorite teams, but we can appreciate what they're doing on the field and stuff.
Absolutely. It's a subjective hobby, and there'll always be new opinions. There'll always be new fragrances. It's cool to be a part of something that's growing so much, and FragCom is fun. FragCom is exciting. I think it's super cool. So I want to jump back to something because it sparked my head again, and I love getting off the rails, and I think, Jesus, that's what you mentioned before, that's what usually happens. Yeah. I had a question that escaped me that I'm glad I remembered, because this was probably 20 minutes ago, and I think it was you, Jay, that mentioned it's hard to make a quality fragrance, and that's why you give Creed respect, especially with the freshies. Using that word quality is very interesting, because I definitely don't disagree at all. But what I want to know from you guys is, because I think we're going to get two completely different answers here, and I'm excited for it, because I know you, Jesus, on how you feel about this. Batch variations with Creed. How is that an exciting, cool thing that adds a bit of mystery and a bit of depth to what Creed does because they use whole ingredients? Is that okay, or holistic rather? Or is batch variation a sign of low quality? I'm paying $430 for a bottle of Creed in 2017. It took me 2 years to go through it. In 2019, it smells totally different. I think depending on what side of the community you're in, you might love that or hate that. If you're not in the community, that's really stupid. If you are, it's exciting and they go up in value.
Yeah, that reminds me of a big topic people have in the comic community. I could have this book here that was made in 1980, and then they make a new version of that same book in a different format in 2019, right? So the old one is worth like $10,000 and the new one's $40, right? They're like, why would you pay $4,000 or whatever for the old one? It's the same shit. But it's that thing where it's like, yeah, but this is the original. It's the first formulation. You would in fragrance, it'd be first formulation. In books, it's the first print. So technically, if you just want to read it, you just like a fragrance, you just want the smell, go for the cheaper one if that's all you want. But if you want like the collector aspect, the exclusivity, you go for the more expensive one, because it's like not everybody has that in their collection. That's, I think, those batch codes and all that is more of a collector thing than the actual scents. I could be wrong. I don't know. A lot of stuff I haven't smelled the original batches of. But for me personally, I think it's more of a, I don't think the difference in smells are in my head. I'm thinking, I don't even think the difference in smells are going to be that different. But it's more of the fact that, you have the original over the newer version. I think that's where a lot of the big price difference comes from.
Okay. Cali, let's hear it. I know you've got a bunch of opinions. That's very.
I agree with what Jay's saying. I agree with what Jay's saying and what Georgia Gent just said to a certain extent. Georgia Gent said batch variation hype is only there for people selling the fragrance. I agree with that, but supply and demand. There's tons of people willing. I've seen it myself to drop $700, $1,000 on a 2010 bottle of Creed. Now let's take Creed out of the subject and let's throw in Aqua di Gio. Everyone says the old Aqua di Gio was better. It projected better. It lasted. I've heard that time and time again. Now throw Creed back in the mix. Did the older bottles project and last more? Yes. In my personal opinion, do I think the scents smell different? Yes. Am I going to go out and drop crazy money on a certain batch? No, because my personal opinion, if you just want the quality, if you just want the smell of Aventus, you can go ahead and pick up a new bottle of Aventus and you'll be just fine. You don't need to go back and drop a crazy amount of money. You know what I mean? Like George Jen said, it's for sellers, yes, but also, in my personal opinion, for the true Aventus addict. It's always supply and demand. Wherever there's a need for something, it's going to dictate the price. So, in my personal opinion, the batch variation, you can smell the difference if you smell tons of Aventus. But if you only have one Aventus bottle, who cares? You don't need to go out there and look for a certain batch. You'll be fine with the 2019, 2020, especially if you're not like a true fragrance enthusiast. If you just want to smell good and you like to smell Aventus, get whatever batch. It doesn't matter. Same thing with Aqua di Gio, you know what I mean? If you just like that scent, pick up a new bottle. Same thing with La Nuit de l'Homme. Everyone says the old vintage bottles, they project, they last. You'll find people selling them for $200. In my personal opinion, it's just supply and demand.
Okay, I want to make a comment on this real quick on clones.
You're entitled to your opinion.
I don't like I said, I'm not big into clones. I don't hate them. I don't necessarily bash them or anything, but I don't really collect them. But look, I have this here. This is a dual fragrance. I have a few of these. This is Aurora Borealis. It's supposed to be a play on Sunshine Man by Amouage, right? Now I had my mom came over. She came over to visit like a few weeks ago for New Year's. So we had I had her trying on a few perfumes, see which one. And my mom's pretty picky with her perfumes. She's one of those people that she sticks with the brands she grew up with, and it's hard to get her at a trying something new. She's big into like Chanel and like Dior. Anything else she kind of bashes, if that makes sense. Like she puts anything else down, like nah, this thing's not that good or whatever. I had her try this. I'll have a few. I'll talk about them later and make a video. There was a few she actually liked from the ones I was showing her, because I have some women's ones right there too. And this is one of the ones she tried out. She tried out like, I don't know, 30 of them or something, because she was here a few days. This is a funny thing she told me, and it got me thinking a little. This is a clone by Dua, and when she sprayed it, the first thing she did, she said it smelled like vinegar. She goes, it feels like it has a vinegar smell to it. And I was like, a vinegar smell? And she goes, let me put it on my hand. She sprayed her hand, and she was like, look at this shininess. She goes, it's so thick. And she was like, what is this, oil or perfume? And I was like, I don't know. And she was complaining about it. She goes, this is so thick. She goes, this texture is like a cheap oil you get at Walmart to like for the room could smell good. You know, you could put a lighter on there, a light on there. She was like, this smells like an oil. And I was like, and I started thinking, I go, I don't know. I don't really know what they make it with. And I started thinking, I go, I wonder if they use, I don't really know how they make these, right? But it got me thinking about that stuff. And she's like, nah, she was like, this is not good. She goes, you could do this with fragrances, those oils from Walmart. She's like, and those smell forever. She was like, these will smell forever when you buy that stuff at Walmart, because it's not, she goes, it's an oil. It's not, it's oil based, right? So she was talking about that, and she was not a fan of that. She was like, do you even know what this will do to your skin and this and that? And
right?
Yeah, she was like, don't wear that. Like she started ranting on about it. So it got me
thinking, my
thing. I wonder how are these made? Like, what do they have in them? Like, they do last a long time.
Here's my thing, bro. With the clones, me personally, this is my personal opinion. I will compare the clones. I will test them. But if it's not something I really don't like the scent of, I'm not going to wear it. I don't wear clones. That's just my personal opinion. I'm very blessed, very able to afford, the name brand. So me personally, I'm gonna go with a name brand, something that's been tested by hundreds of people. Like what you're saying, I'm not knocking clone houses, but at the end of the day, you don't have the full breakdown. We don't really have the full breakdown for anything. So I rather personally put on my skin something that I know hundreds of other people, if not thousands of other people have worn, and I just want. If I want like Aventus, for example, I'm gonna wear Aventus. I don't care if it's $200, $400. If I can afford it, I'm gonna go out and get quality over quantity. That's me personally. I don't want 200 clones of something when I could have
Also,
had.
one thing I noticed about these clone houses, the ones I've tried at least, is they're pretty linear. They don't change much. That you get
Yep.
one scent, and it's pretty much the same scent through the whole
Mhm.
fragrance. Even though a lot of them do last longer, though, but they don't change much in as far as the smell. And the originals, they go through transitions. They have more depth, which I think is part of the magic that a perfumer has, because I would imagine it's harder to make the right mixture of ingredients to have it change after 2 hours to this smell, then 4 hours later to this smell. I think that's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
more
what
complicated than just doing one smell and having that last the whole time. I think that's like a more basic version of the originals, if that makes sense.
some are really nice though, you know what I mean? So I have nothing against them. Like some clones, they do smell amazing. I've smelled some, I've compared them. It's just from what I found, me personally, I tend to like the originals better. So, but I don't have nothing else with clone houses. I feel they have a place here. If you're not able to get a certain fragrance and you don't care if it smells 95% similar, go ahead and pick it up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Also, if it's because I think what these captures just the heart, the mid notes, it captures that through on the whole thing, but the opening, the dry downs, all those changes, the clones don't have that in my opinion. But if you just want a nice smell and you don't care about if you have the bottle presentation and all that, they're not bad. They're not bad for that reason. But like me, I like the presentation. I like having the bottles. I like smelling them 2 hours later and see how it's changed. Like I like all that stuff that goes with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I,
also
I agree with you, Matt.
Go ahead, Ken.
I agree with you, Matt. Not everyone can drop that kind of money. That's why I try to do these awesome giveaways where I'm able to give back. I totally understand not everyone can go ahead and afford niche bottles. So as, reviewers or influencers, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
that's
call it, I feel we should give
yeah,
back whenever we can. And that's what I try to do. I try to bring some awesome scents to people who aren't able to afford them. And like I said, I'm not knocking clone houses. They definitely have a place. Like I said, if you're not able to afford them, or if you don't even care if you smell 95%, 90% similar, by all means, go ahead and pick them up. There's nothing wrong with it. My personal opinion, just like you have your own, I'm gonna go ahead and wear what I want to wear, just as you're gonna wear what you want to wear. To each their own.
yeah.
Absolutely. And Jay,
Yeah, I agree. Well, you just want the scent, you just want to smell good. They're perfect for that. I think
Mm-hmm.
the bottle presentation, all that, the niche comes with, and all that, it's more like of a collector thing more than anything. Because if you just want the scent, you could get a decan or a clone. Now, I do like clones that are like say Armaf, Arha Main, that are kind of clone houses, but they have each bottle has their own look and stuff. They're not regular decants. I like those, and those are cheap. Those are like $30 for 100 mils. These are like what $70 for like a or $60 for like a this little bottle. If you buy three of these to make it 100 mil, it ends up being almost the same price. You know what I mean? The point of a
Right?
clone is
As yeah,
cheaper.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
the point of a clone is to get it at a cheaper price, not the same price.
Exactly. That's why quality over quantity is what I believe. You know what I mean? If you can't afford it right now, go ahead and save up. There was a time where I couldn't afford fragrances. I save up and then I wait for deals to happen. I get on these Facebook groups, find out when the deals are happening. I do swaps, I do trades. You're able to find brand new in the box fragrances for awesome price.
Yeah,
And
guys,
even
anybody watching, yeah, that's a perfect thing. I can't stress it enough. When I got into these Facebook groups, I always used to say like, what are people thinking spending 150 bucks, 200, 300 on a fragrance, right? Because that's ridiculous. As you more get more into it, you start kind of getting curious, like, do I want to buy a bottle of that? I would never buy any niche brand at retail price. But if you get into these Facebook groups, you start building connections and friendships with people you trust. You can find some good deals. Like if I get a niche bottle at $80 because it doesn't have the box or whatever, I'll buy
exactly.
it. not gonna be exactly like that's what I would pay for my designers at the mall back in the days, right? So I'm like, that's $80. It's like what I would spend anyways. But I definitely wouldn't drop $200, 300 on a bottle. So those Facebook groups, even though you work with the same budget, it opens up a whole nother door for you.
The whole playing field.
You can have
Exactly.
higher quality stuff at the same price. You know what I mean? So definitely take a look out for those, but don't just buy off anybody because there could be scammers out there. Make sure if someone you trust or someone you know is letting you know this guy's good. You could buy from
This
him
is
or this like that. Like ask around first because you don't want to get I got burned twice, but luckily I always pay with protection. So if the deal doesn't go according to plan, I'm protected and I get my money back. You know, so always pay that way. Never pay just always pay make sure you get insured on
here's
PayPal, on whatever program you use. Make sure you have insurance on it, just in case things go bad. But definitely check out
if you're not
yeah,
if you're not comfortable, always use goods and services. Always do a legit check. I said that a couple months back in one of my videos. Other reviewers took the same idea. So always do a legit check. Always, pretty much, you're running a background check on the person. Ask around. If you don't feel comfortable, use PayPal goods and services, please. Otherwise, you will get burned. There's two big names in the fragrance community that you can trust. You can go to Kaushik. I'm not sure exactly. Everyone go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. He's a really well-known seller. He does not scam you. He has not, he's already built up tons of people can vouch for him. You can also use Bijan Benny. Those are both sellers that you can go ahead and buy from, and that I can go ahead and guarantee that what you're going to get is going to be legit because I've
those four,
maybe 20 to 30 fragrances.
yeah, they're legit as they're constantly selling. I bought decants off a few people. I got a few decant people because they gave me pretty good prices on decants as long as I buy a bulk amount. Buy 7, 8, not just one decant, but you get good prices for designers. They have some niche stuff, but I buy designers. For a few friends I've made on the Facebook groups, and they tell me they're like, I don't do this as a business, but since we became friends and stuff, they're like, I have tons of bottles, so if you're interested in any, I'll decant a few of them. If you're interested in trying some stuff, and they give me like real
that's
good
why I
prices,
give
like $6 for a decant. Like you can't beat those prices.
That's why I get the bottles. Some people might not agree with buying full bottles, but you can always decant a good amount of your bottle. You keep the bottle. You're able to share it with other reviewers, share it with other people.
Yeah, no, don't sleep on the part. Just make sure someone you have faith in. I bought this Christian Dior what is the sergeant or this is fire right here. This is good. This is good. I got 100 mils right here. The full bottle. I was considering the full bottle, but I was like, it's kind of expensive. Somebody told me I'll sell you half a bottle, and that's all I need. That's 100 mils right there. I'm good with that. If I bought 100 mil bottle, it would have been still kind of expensive. And I got this I don't want to throw the price out there, but I got a really good deal on it. So look around, and when you talk to people, they'll hook you up sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. I'm with you. The Green Irish Tweed I flashed earlier. This is one of those fragrances, like I mentioned, that I only am going to wear at certain times because I think it fits a mold really well. I think it's a good every day, but also Green Irish Tweed is my favorite when I want to smell like $1 million. If I want to go to a family gathering, if I'm engaged now, but this would be a great fragrance to like meet your new girlfriend's parents. If you want to impress somebody and know that you just smell fantastic, something like Green Irish Tweed. So I picked this up at about 40 mils left because this 40 mils will probably last me the next 2 or 3 years. I wear this once every 2 months, maybe. So do not sleep on partials. You can save a substantial amount of money. It might be searching because not a ton of people are going to sell a bottle at 30, 40%.
Yep.
Because at that low amount, they might think there's not enough interest out there. People want mostly full bottles. But yeah, when you've got 87 fragrances sitting back there, there's nothing wrong with picking up a 20 mil out of a 100 mil full bottle of something you really want.
100%. I 100% agree with you guys.
Especially when you have 50, 60 fragrances, 20, 30 mils is all you're going to need. It's going to last for a long time. And then you still get the bottle, which is kind of what you want if you're doing a video or you're a collector, you want to collect the bottles. So you're still getting enough juice that's going to last a while.
Absolutely.
No, I agree, man. Partials are really slept on, like both of you guys were saying. If you can pick up a great deal on a partial, I have no problem with getting a partial. I have some in my collection where I made trades, I've made swaps, 100%. Like Rush and we said earlier, always do a legit check, man. buy from people either you know or people that are well known in the community. Kosh and Bijan Benny are really well known in the community. People buy from them all the time. They have tons of people who can go ahead and vouch for them. I've personally bought from them, so that's why I'm able to recommend them to you. I would never throw out anyone's name that I have not bought from. So those are just two of the very big, well-known, reputable sellers.
We were talking about smelling like $1,000,000. Have you guys smelled this before?
Which is
Good.
that?
Bond number 9, Wall Street.
No, I've not smelled that one.
It's called Wall Street because it's supposed to smell like $100 bills.
Oh, okay.
So you want to smell like, $100 bills? You want to go to a strip club? You wear this. You smell like money, but that smell is not for everybody. It's the opening on it. It's tough. It's tough, man. But once you get past that first 15 minutes, it's really good, man. This is a freshie. Some people consider it an aquatic. I don't know if I would consider it an aquatic, but it is a freshie. But it's interesting. It's different, and that's hard to do. Freshies, aquatics that are citrusy or whatever, but are different and unique. It's hard to find one. And this one, not only does it last long, but it's unique. But the opening is harsh. It smells like pickles. The opening smells kind of like pickles. But after the opening, you get it dried down, and then you get a fresh cucumber. You get a fresh cucumber, and I could see why it smells like money. I could see it smelling like wet dollar bills. It's not for everybody, but this is what I would consider a freshie and a niche, because this is not for everybody. It's out there a little. This is a perfect example of niche and fresh, which you don't see a lot of. A lot of these niche fragrances just smell like a regular fresh citrusy or whatever. I don't see anything complex or anything about a lot of them, but this is one that's it's a little different.
I gotta check that one out, man. I have not checked that fragrance out, so I would definitely look for a decant of that, so I can go ahead and.
Because it might be something. I don't know if it's something you're gonna like or not. It's not for everybody, but I like that it lasts long, and once you get to the mid, it's something. I wouldn't say if it's mass opinion, but it gets a lot more tolerable than the opening does.
So speaking, I hope I didn't
That's another thing.
jump into a completely different conversation here of an aquatic and of a freshie that's really well liked, that is interesting and different. This is my fiance's favorite on me. Tom Ford Fleur de Portofino. Everybody's heard of that, knows Tom Ford. Costa Azzara, Mandarina de Amalfi, I feel like are the most popular.
What's that one called?
This is Fleur de Portofino.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It is fantastic. Fresh, summer, clean, but it's so different. I've never smelled any fresh C note based fragrance that smells like this one. This one has got top notes of black locust. It's so floral. I mean, floral, fresh, C notes. It's wonderful. I just had to. You mentioned a freshie that's hard to be different, and that's like not for everybody. This is my guy.
Okay.
I have to check that one out. I have not checked that out.
What's Sura?
There's your cube of gold you were talking about.
Oh,
You
get
know,
that out of here. Nah, just kidding. Now, some people actually like them.
$6.99, 100
Yeah,
milliliters.
some people say they're pretty good. I actually have never picked one up myself. I see them and something about it. Don't get me wrong, I buy cheapies too. I have a few cheapies right here. It's just something about it doesn't really appeal to me. One cheap line that I really like, everybody should try out, is the Franco Olivier, especially the touch line, like the blue touch, black touch, white touch, oud touch. That line of Franco Olivier, they're like $15 on Fragrance Net. Man, all of them are bangers. They're all good and they all last you 8 hours.
I'm searching that right now. Let me share my screen here really quick. You mean this one?
Go, throw it on. I'll put it right here.
Passion, Frank Olivier.
Yeah, not that specific one, but that line.
Well, this one I picked up at TJ Maxx for $12.99, and I love this one. But yes, this is a slept-on, cheapy TJ Maxx Marshalls brand for sure.
Yeah. I've heard about that brand through Miami Cuddles and through Scented Engineer. And they were right. That line is fire, especially the touch line. Check out the Oud Touch, the Blue Touch. Those are good fragrances. I gotta order the Blue Touch, but I have a bunch of other ones from there.
Blue Touch. There you go.
Yeah, I need
I have
Blue
just
Touch.
the one, but man, I'm going to check out more of these. I didn't know how many they made because I love
Yeah,
the one I have.
yeah. I need Blue Touch and I need the White Touch, but I have Black Touch, Night Touch, Oud Touch, Vanilla Touch. Those are good. They're good, man, and they all
Damn, you
last
got the whole
forever.
line.
Yeah, the whole touch line. I ordered some of the other ones that the bottles are different, but I wasn't as big a fan as the ones that I have that square bottle, the Versace Eros looking bottle. All the ones with that bottle are fire, especially at $15. Man, if I knew about those back in the days, I would have been rocking those since back, since 10 years ago.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
quite the line here. This is I'm going to look more into them. I picked this one up at TJ Maxx, just thinking for $13 it would be pretty cool and enjoyable. But I didn't like an Oud Touch, Blue Touch. These are that's a cool mention, man. I'm going to look more into these.
I really like Night Touch. That's a good one. Blue Touch, I hear is like Aqua di Gio. I gotta buy that one. But I heard it's like Aqua di Gio, but stronger.
Did you say White Touch or Night Touch?
Night Touch. Night Touch I like. That's a nice one to go it's for the nightlife.
Cool
You usually get your 8 hours. You get your 8 hours from that one. It does smell a little bit synthetic, but not in a bad way. It's not like your hair's not gonna hurt or anything like that. But it doesn't smell natural. But it smells nice though. Like like your Sauvage doesn't smell natural, but it smells good to a lot of people.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
one of those. It's one of those. It's kind of like a grapefruit scent to it, and like I think like grapefruit and ginger. It has other notes on there. It just was kind of popping in my head, but it's a real nice scent. Yeah, all of those get you 8 hours with decent projection. They're
That's
$15 each, man. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Absolutely. So I had a question for you guys. Another one that slipped my mind earlier that I'm really interested in now, especially since that's the whole topic of this live stream is niche versus designer, and we're talking about what makes something niche, and just does publicity, does hype take away from the niche? Another thing that I'm curious if you guys think takes away from the niche type of forte, kind of that brand. So we've kind of already determined that Tom Ford is like niche. Could be price-wise it is, quality-wise it probably is, dictionary it's probably not. But we're talking Joe Malone, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, Le Labo, and Killian, and also Tom Ford. Do you fellas, it's a little quiz, know what all four of those brands share in common?
You can find them at Saks.
You can find them at Saks. Anything else that would link them together?
They're all owned by the same company. They're all owned by they're all owned by the same company. That's a good point. You just brought up a perfect point.
Estee Lauder.
A lot of these niche brands that people are paying more money for are you said they're owned by the same company as a lot of the designer brands.
Estee Lauder, if you're familiar.
People making running the show.
Company. So Killian at $250, $260 a bottle. Killian makes these bold, really exciting scents that, gosh, if you're wearing Killian, you'll probably need to meet probably 10,000, that might be a little stretch, maybe 1,000 people before you find somebody else that smells like you if you're wearing Killian. Can we probably agree on that?
Yeah.
But with a backing of Estee Lauder and millions and tens and hundreds of millions as this company, Estee Lauder is not niche. Estee Lauder makes everything. Estee Lauder is very inclusive, not exclusive. Does that take away?
You want everybody's money. You
does that take away from what makes Joe Malone, Tom Ford, Killian, Le Labo niche? Does that take away, or is that irrelevant?
Definitely, in my opinion, definitely.
I honestly, man, I don't know. It's like, for me, it's borderline. I 50-50 down the middle. I get what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm split 50-50. Because personally, like I said, it does go by, I like to use a definition, but also the quality. Me personally, Killian does have quality behind it. I've probably tried 16 different ones. Some of them I really enjoyed. Some of them I wasn't really too fond of. But what I can say is there was definitely quality in this sense. So I'm like split down the middle. I can see what Cali Reviews is saying. 100% agree too.
Medina Custom Knives bought out. L'Oreal. L'Oreal bought those brands or bought Estee Lauder? I'm confused. What?
I think L'Oreal bought I think they bought Terry Mugler.
L'Oreal. That's interesting because L'Oreal is mostly hair products and stuff, right? They're not even
like makeup and hair product, but it's a huge company. Yeah,
I thought it was just shampoos and such. So, but Estee Lauder
they make makeups, lipstick, shampoos. I used to sell that stuff back in the day. A lot of L'Oreal products. Everybody wears them. Boy, girls.
So who did L'Oreal buy out, or who bought out Medine? I'm curious what you mean by that, because I could very easily be stood corrected.
Hey, when I used to sell that, I was surprised how expensive makeup and lipstick are. They're expensive. Like, they're not cheap.
My fiance's got me into the I'm confident in my masculinity to admit this, that she's got me watching a lot of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star on YouTube, if you guys are at all familiar with either of those.
I've heard of it.
And I'm a big fan of anybody that's passionate about what they do. So even if the thing that they do is not my thing, if you can convince me of your passion and you can do it in a good way, I'm hooked. I've spent hours watching crazy, weird videos of things that I'm not interested in because the content or because the creator was good and the creator caught my attention. Estee Lauder bought Kilian. Estee Lauder owns all 4 companies: Le Labo, Kilian, Tom Ford. At least the fragrance side of Tom Ford. I don't know if they own all of Tom Ford, but they also own Le Labo, Kilian, Tom Ford, and Joe Malone. They own all 4. So a big company backing you, that makes sense. But anyways, back to the point where Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson have started this makeup blast where they created this palette together. Shane Dawson's another influencer, if you guys aren't familiar with him. Most people are. He's huge. And yeah, man, makeup is a world. The price, the quality, what goes into it, the hype. I mean, that palette, I think, crashed the internet or crashed the website it was being sold on and sold out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, look at those. Yeah,
Wow.
Look at those beauty channels on YouTube. Those go huge views.
Beauty guru. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, literally, I was actually watching one of Shane Dawson's videos that had Jeffree Star in it. Shane Dawson's fiance's sister.
Yeah, I would say, have you guys know who Demi Rollins is?
Yeah.
The YouTuber. Yeah, I would say her channel. Her channel's getting it grows fast because she has she's a girl, and she has a big part of that makeup people, the viewers.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that beauty viewers. And that's a big group. There's a
lot of crossover.
She
fashion.
She brings in the guys for the person, and she brings in women viewers in too because it's kind of like a beauty channel in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
And those channels are huge. So her channel, it's gonna blow up, man. She's gonna be like Jeremy Fragrance in another 2 years.
Yeah. Hopefully not just like Jeremy Fragrance.
I'm talking about subscribers and views wise.
Absolutely, man. The beauty industry as a whole, my eyes have been opened big time, is massive. You would think fragrance and beauty have a lot to learn from each other or suffer from a lot of the same things. Like if you told somebody I collect fragrances or I'm very into fragrances, you'd almost be given the answer of like, what do you mean into fragrances? You go to you find one that smells good and you wear it. What do you mean into them?
Yeah.
I asked my fiance the same thing about makeup. Like, it's a palette with colors and you put it on and okay, this one's different colored, but who cares?
Yeah, but not even your casual makeup. Because with girls, it's not like a casual thing. Like, they all have like big collections of makeup.
Yeah.
The guys they have a lot of fragrances, more like a collecting thing. If not, they just have a few. But women, everybody, all of them have like a lot of they want to switch it up all the time. So it's that's why it's such a much bigger market.
Yeah. And not only that, but I mean, quality. Yeah.
Fragrance is just part of their arsenal. They're wearing the fragrance, the fake eyelashes, the everything, they're doing it all.
Yeah, quality plays a big role too. It's unbelievable the difference between companies, and some are vegan products, some are not, some are cruelty free, some are not. And you find similarities there to how could makeup be so important? How could it be so worldwide and well known? Same can be said with fragrance. It's easy when you understand it on a better level and understand the industry on how powerful it is and what the following is in the whole fashion industry, whether it be makeup, clothing, cosmetics, fashion, grooming, whatever. Yeah,
like I used to be into shoes a lot. So you remember the East Bay magazines? You couldn't wait for the new ones to come in next month. You're checking out all the new shoes that are coming out. Like, what kicks are coming out next month? Oh, I gotta get these. I gotta get these as well. It's like the fragrances. You're already putting like 10 pair of shoes on your list. Like, I gotta rock all these. Like, I gotta be the first one, wearing them.
Medina Custom Knives. Who is LVMA? I can't think of that acronym off the top of my head. I know Mason Francis Kurjov. Who were they purchased by?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, wait for him to reply right now. I was gonna tell you, when a big company buys out another company, it's a big deal because look at what happened with Marvel, the comic book company. When the Disney bought it and to make movies with it, if you watch the movies and you read the book, they're very, very, they're not that alike. The stories are changed a lot, the characters are changed a lot because they water them down and make them more mass appealing. So that all the kids could watch it, all the grown-ups could watch it. Because like Wolverine, for example, he's like Conan, he's chopping heads off and stuff in the comics, he's busting. And then in the movies, they gotta change all that because you want kids to watch it as well. Look what they did with Deadpool. They said we're making them exactly like the comics. A bunch of parents were complaining. My kid went to watch that. Look at how this guy's acting in the funny thing. Like it became a huge thing. So I think the same thing's gonna happen with these fragrances. Once these big companies buy them, they're gonna switch it up, add their touch to it, water it down, cut costs, do all kinds of stuff. Like it's not gonna be the same product. The only thing that's gonna stay the same is probably the prices.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've got a lot to consider. You bring up Disney, and I'm not even going to open this basket of worms, but I'll briefly mention Star Wars. I mean, were you guys Star Wars kids?
Oh, what they did to Star Wars, man.
So
I've never seen it. None.
Any Star Wars? Oh my gosh. Disney gets some hate for the new Star Wars movies, which would there be Star Wars movies?
Even bigger than Marvel as far as the changes. Like the Star Wars fans were really like, oh my god, like they're like, this isn't our Star Wars. They used to be like a real niche group. They like Star Wars and they made it for everybody. Same thing they did with the Marvel comic movies and the Star Wars movies. They all have to be comedic, kind of dumbed down, like and a lot of Star Wars people really braved against it more than the Marvel people.
Oh, Medina, Louis Vuitton. Okay, LVMA. I didn't know what MA at the end stood for, but yeah, Louis Vuitton. So I haven't gotten a chance to smell a lot of Louis Vuitton fragrances, but there is actually a boutique at my local like 30 minutes away, one of the big shopping malls, and I know they have their fragrances there, and I've been meaning to take a trip there. So Louis Vuitton, I mean, they would kind of be in the same realm of Tom Ford, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't tried them, so I can't speak on the quality, but judging by the price and presentations, it's definitely like a Tom Ford thing where like it's you would say it's designer, but it's really like a niche or higher designer brand. Okay.
Medina, I appreciate the insight, brother. Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. I'm gonna butcher that, I'm sure. My French is not fantastic. I took Spanish in high school. But that's cool, man. That's good info. It's always cool to know. You can sit here and talk about notes, and you can sit here and talk about just, I like this one, I like that one, and that's cool. That's a whole side of fragrances, but there's a whole inner workings of where companies are headed and who owns what. I think that's
the thing that always stuck in my mind was this thing I saw Mark Cuban say, where he was talking about doing business, and he was talking to somebody like they were making, I forgot, some electronic product. He goes, that's a great product. He goes, and how long will it last? They go, you buy it, it'll last you your whole life. And he said, I don't want people to buy this and last them their whole life. He goes, then they'll never come buy another one. He goes, I want to work with you. And he said, but I want you to make this fall apart in 6 years. Make it not built to last, so they come back and buy another one. You think companies don't do that? Higher up the price and lower the quality.
I know they do. I know they do. Hey,
what does this mean when we talk about watering down? And this is a 2016.
I hear that a lot. I don't know. I got a newer batch, and to me, it still lasts pretty long. It lasts like 7 hours.
If you try the vintage one, I believe from 2010.
I tried it and I was like, still, I mean, the performance is decent. I hear people say they get 2 hours. I don't know about the smell itself, because I never smelled the original, but as far as how long it lasts, I feel like I still get a decent day's wear.
Yeah, I mean, performance on me, I don't know if I'd call it an issue. But when you're talking about a fragrance with vanilla, cardamom, you're talking about a heavy fragrance. I mean, La Nuit de l'Homme is definitely for the evening, for the winter. So it's not a freshie that you expect is going to be gone in 4 hours. So in that comparison, yeah, the longevity kind of sucks. But just as a fragrance overall, I get 4 to 5 hours. So I'd hope a little bit more for my wintertime sweet scents. But no, I'd love to get my nose on an original batch. I really, really would. But I have not. So it's a little hard for me to be subjective.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Carla, I heard people say that the scent DNA is a lot different from the original. I never smelled it, so I can't say. But I mean, I like the newer ones, like mine's of 2017, and I feel it smells. I like the way it smells.
Yeah, Cali, are you having problems? Are you good, man? I saw you dropped out for a minute. You lost?
I don't know if it's the weather or what's going on with my thing. It keeps like cutting off, so I was trying to figure out right now what it was. I'm not sure if it's just the weather. The weather's like kind of here.
Okay. So yeah, that's a cool point that you bring that up, because what do you want to be known as? Do you want to be the company that has a reputation for having reformulations? That's going to tarnish you. Most people are never in a million years going to know that this was reformulated. They're going to smell it at Macy's, love it, buy it, and say, okay, I get this many hours. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a black stain with the fragrance community. They are going to know. If anybody is anal in the world about longevity, about reformulations, it's the fragrance community. So that black mark's tiny, because the fragrance community is tiny compared to who's buying this.
Yeah.
So would you rather the black mark but make way more money because people are going to need to buy way more bottles of this?
Yeah.
Here's slight loss in money.
Yeah, that's only for your hardcore fans.
Like, I'm outweighed by, man, people know I would never, even if I could make you buy more of this, I wouldn't, because my reputation as a company, I want to keep you as a customer, and I don't care if you only have to buy this every 2 years. Then you'll tell all your friends to come buy this. And
100%. I agree.
Yeah, but big companies, I mean, they don't care. They have
company makes a big
difference. It's like it's again back to the video game thing with Modern Warfare. People love Modern Warfare, and that was your hardcore gamers. Once you got everybody else liked it, everybody else that just casually plays the game once in a while, once they started playing it, they started watering it down, like making it more simple to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like the hardcore gamers were like, man, like not everybody could play it, like. You know, they want to show they're better, but you're making it easier for these guys to compete with me when I know I'm a lot better. So, you know, they're on to a new game now. They're like, well, we're going to go play something else now. That they went to Overwatch, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like that with everything.
Cali, do you own La Nuit de l'Homme? Have you ever smelled a vintage batch?
I do. Yes, I have. I've smelled only. I had a bottle of the vintage batch. I went ahead and traded it for something else. And then when I traded it, I kind of regretted it. I wished I can get it back, because I had smelled the vintage and I had smelled maybe a 2016 around there. And I definitely got better projection, better longevity. But the scent wise, I didn't notice much difference. I definitely did notice it was kind of watered down, meaning it didn't last. It didn't project as well. So I really regretted when I sold my other one. I still got decent projection off like a 2016, but not compared to 2010, like 3 sprays of 2010. And I had to wash that shit off. Like I was testing it, and it was like in the summertime. Probably wasn't a good idea to test in the summertime. Yeah. But I had got it, so I was happy, and that shit was really killing me. But I can definitely see that one was changed and why it was altered. Like you're saying, their goal is the masses. So when you have tons of people who aren't frag heads, you know what I mean? Just like they want to smell good, they might see a video of Jeremy Fragrance recommending that fragrance. They're going to go out, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to go through it like crazy, because the average person doesn't have that many fragrances. Me and Cali Reviews talked a while back, we did a stream, how many fragrances do people need? We kind of hit on like maybe 10, or less, depending on the seat, like if you want like a couple for the season. But in reality, if you're just a regular person who wears fragrances, cologne, you might only have 3 to 5 fragrances, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to drop that much money. So I can see how they go through it quicker, how they tell their friends. So I agree with you what you're saying. I definitely think they do it on purpose as a marketing strategy to go ahead and make more money. But then it kind of kills like the true frag head, because they like the original. But then they got to weigh it out. Who are we trying to please? Are we trying to make money? Or are we trying to please everybody?
Not the 3% of.
Yeah. Definitely not. But yeah, that's true. Your normal person has 3 to 5 They're looking for a solid signature scent that could be their thing. Is like, this is my joint, this is me. And then you're like your weekend one, your night one, for the parties and so forth. So usually have like your two or your cold weather one. So you have three. Like, yeah, you usually don't want to, like, you have three ones. Those three run out, you get another three because you're actually using them. Not like us. A lot of them are sitting there for years, and you're like, this wasn't my favorite. It's just there. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's been a productive conversation. We've been on some tangents for sure. But yeah, it's important to understand the connection between the brands and the fragrance community, because that's who's going to hype their stuff first. Do you think anybody out there has gotten their hands on Rose Prick that's not what's up, David?
Hey, what's up, bro?
That's gotten their hands on Rose Prick that's not a fragrance enthusiast, that's gone out of their way to try to find Rose Prick. But that's how your stuff gets out there to guys who are like, man, I want to get this for my fiance, or maybe I want to wear it. They might YouTube Rose Prick because they know those are going to be out there, those videos that people who get it early. So is it important to cater to those people and important to consider them when they're such a small part of your overall operation, but they do so much for your brand? I mean, it's a question only they can know, and only they'll ultimately decide whether or not they give a shit.
Yeah, because YouTube is the future, man. Like, as far as it's not just YouTube, even there's gonna be other streaming services like Twitch and all that. That like these brands are starting to realize, we can use these YouTubers and stuff, or you give them like a free bottle or something instead of paying like thousands of dollars on a commercial on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even on TV, television's on its way out. It's all about streaming services. In the next 10 years, television, I see it all the time, like the new shows and stuff, they're going to work out deals with Netflix, with Hulu. They don't want to work with the TV companies because the TV company will own your shit, control where it's going, where the show's going. And when you're on those streaming services, you got more control, And so most people, you could watch the show whenever you want to. It's not like TV. If you missed Wednesday's episode, it's gone forever. So like till the summer when the repeats, like, so I think it's the same with commercials. They're going less and less on TV because less people are watching TV, and they're working that advertising online, on the internet, on YouTube, on your streaming services. Hulu does commercials now. I don't know if you guys know, when you're watching a show, like, it has commercials during the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes on a personal touch. I mean, I think that's a huge thing. Is Shaquille O'Neal give a shit about me if I buy Icy Hot? Of course not. But maybe O'Neal. So like, that's that personal touch. But if you have a favorite YouTuber, I can't turn on Shaquille O'Neal's commercial and tell him great job and say, hey, review this next. But YouTube gives you a personal touch. YouTube gives you a recognizable face that, like you said, send a bottle to and save a ton of money, and they're going to be happy to get the free bottle. They're going to be happy to have a sponsorship of someone who wants to recognize their stuff, and they're going to give you a quality shout out, a quality amount of exposure for pennies on the dollar compared to a lot of other marketing strategies. Yeah,
even I see it with the youngsters. Like, I have little nephews and stuff like that, 17, 19. When they want to look something up, like I want to buy a cologne or whatever, a new moisturizer video game, they just type it in on YouTube and watch the commercial there, or watch somebody advertise it. Because you gotta realize the bigger channels cater to a lot of not just in fragrances and anything. They're catering to a lot of people, not just you. The world doesn't revolve around you. So last time, they're not here to tell you if they like the product or not. They're just letting you be aware of it, and it's up to you want to buy it or not. It's like a commercial. So you gotta also realize that.
What's up, brother?
Oh,
how you doing, man?
We got a couple questions, or we got a question. He says, "What do you guys prefer, longevity or projection?" Me personally,
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Well, I was gonna say, to me personally, longevity is more important because projection, it kind of depends on the fragrance. Some I want them a little stronger, depending for what I'm using them for. Like if I'm at a club or something, you want to smell louder. And some, I don't want them as strong. Like, because I know a lot of people, especially girls don't like strong smelling fragrances. Like the girlfriends that had something loud, they're constantly complaining, oh my God, this smells terrible. This is so strong. Like, you're going to the stores, the mall, the movies, they're just constantly like, why did you wear that? They want something that's like, they want people to wear something that's not too loud. Like, that's
you're right.
You're smelling it, you spray twice, but you wear a fragrance that's strong. So by wearing twice, spraying twice, you smell like that teenager that sprays 20 times, that over applies. You know that you don't know how to apply properly.
Yeah. For me, it's projection. I'm the complete opposite. Only because you really can't. This is gonna. Hopefully, you guys get what I'm saying. You can make a fragrance project only so much. You have your natural projection by when you do a moderate amount of 3 to 4 to 5, depending on your skin chemistry and depending on the fragrance. You have that amount of projection, and then there's a little more projection. It's the normal amount, or you sprayed 30 sprays, and the whole mall is ready to evacuate. Versus longevity, I can tuck even a 100 ml bottle in my center console and spray this again later, but I can't spray more to make it project. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It does.
You can fix longevity. You can't really fix projection without going overboard.
Yeah, with projection you could control it a little more, and I get what you're saying. Like I feel that way sometimes with the with the one.
Hey, what's up, Howie?
Yeah, sometimes with the one where I'm like, it smells good, and sometimes you're like, I kind of wish it was a little stronger, and you're like, it doesn't matter if I spray 30 times, it's not getting any stronger.
Overboard, like you know what I mean? They're so hard to nail. Like you can't. The more you spray, you think it's going to project better, but it's going to project an unreasonable amount. While if it projects good from the beginning, you can then control the sprays. And
Yeah,
you know what I apply later. That's what I'm kind of saying. What's
yeah,
up?
I remember I was with somebody from like back when I was like 20, from like 2003 to like 2010, no, 2004 to 2010, something like that. And at that time, I was wearing a Sorrow Chrome, right? No, I think it was like 2005 or whatever. But I was wearing a Sorrow Chrome. That was one of the it wasn't the only fragrance I had, but that was one of them. And that I used to like it because it smelled pretty strong. So I used to just throw it on, go to the mall, whatever, and it projects good. People smell you, you smell clean. Then I started dating this girl. She never said anything, but then I moved to my mom's for a little while. I was like having issues where I needed somewhere to stay. I couldn't like have my own spot or whatever. So I was there with my mom, and when I would, I'll get up early, like at 4 in the morning to go to work, shower, put on my cologne, leave. So she never smelled me because she's asleep at that time. But when the weekends would come up, I'll hop in the shower, I'll spray it on, and it'll be like 9 in the morning. My mom will be like, "Oh my God, like my head hurts. What are you wearing? It's too strong." And it was a Sorrow Chrome, so I kind of stopped wearing it for that reason. Because she would tell me that. Then my girlfriend started saying, "Yeah, I never wanted to tell them, but I never liked it either. It's like a teenager saying, like." And I was like, "What?" It's like it's too strong. Like,
People that'll keep you straight.
like yeah, my girlfriend started telling me, she's like, "I don't want to say anything either," but she goes, it's something like, she goes, "It smells like you put way too much on, like you're that guy that has too much cologne." And I was like, I sprayed like 5 times, you know, like.
Damn, bro. How many sprays did you say you used of Zerhoff Signature Pro?
Well, yeah, I threw on 7 sprays to go to the casino. But that's a big, large open area, like a mall. So
yeah, bro.
I was like, you know, I could spray a few. Like it's gonna be in an open area. It's not gonna be like in a little theater or something like that.
You're right. You're right. To comment what we're talking about, though, I think you had a good point, though, Sean. Like you can fix longevity, you can't fix projection. They obviously they have the travel size atomizers and everything that you can go ahead and throw on throughout the day. But when you're just trying to smell good, you might not know about all that stuff. Because I didn't know about travel atomizers. I didn't know nothing about until I really got into fragrances. I was like, what? They actually make a thing where you can carry like a decant of your fragrance. You can apply it later. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But I see your point now, and now I don't know what I'd rather have.
Yeah, I used to see those decants at Macy's because my sister worked at Macy's for a while, for like a few years.
Uh-huh.
So I used to see them, like they'll have like 10 decants of 10 mils, and it's like you look at the price, and then you look at the price of 100 mil of one fragrance, and I always used to be like, why would you buy these for twice the price when it's the same amount of juice, when you could buy this full bottle the same amount, 100 mils for half the price? But you know, as you start, like after I start thinking, you know what, it's not a bad deal because you're getting 10 different scents, and you see which one you like, as opposed to just one bottle, one scent, and that's it. So now, like the decants make more sense to me. But back then, I used to see them at the store. They had those like discovery sets with like decants or whatever, And I always used to kind of, I felt like they didn't make sense to me, but now they seem very useful. If that,
I agree.
They will save you a lot of money in the long run. It's hard, especially for someone like me, because I've told lots of people, I've had lots of offers, because I'm an active member in the buy sell trade. Even if I got 500,000 subscribers and I had every brand reaching out to me trying to send me free bottles, I still don't think I could ever go without the community, because it's such a cool part for me. Yeah, it's going to be a tough car ride.
yeah, definitely.
But like I said, I think I find a lot of enjoyment in it, meeting new people, finding new stuff, swapping, selling. I like it. So for me, that's a big part of it. But I've turned down certain swaps for a fragrance I really wanted because it was a 60 mil decant or a 30 mil decant or whatever, because I am such an aesthetic person that my collection means nobody but me and my fiance sees my collection 98% of the time. I'll have a friend come over and we'll give them a tour of the house, and they'll come in and check it out and ask, oh, what's this? What's that? But really, there's no reason for me to, gosh, I want this fragrance and it's a great deal, but it's in a decant bottle. I need that beautiful presentation. It needs
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
But I encourage you guys to not be like me and check out decants and be willing to get fragrances in smaller quantities and not pull the trigger on a full bottle because you think it looks good. Decants are fantastic.
I think decants are awesome. Like how he's saying, how he said decants are the way to go. I 100% agree. For convenience, to save money, but for like a collector's aspect, like if you're definitely trying to build your collection and you care about like the presentation, I could definitely see why you would want. It just looks that much nicer. But in reality, if all you want to do is smell good, decants is the way to go. You get excellent prices. They come with
If
appetizers.
you want to do reviews, or if you just want to smell good, decants. I definitely agree that bottles are just for a collection purpose. That's it. That's it. And
What you got against decants, bro?
that's why I like bottles too. For like with books, you buy them digitally if you want to read them. You want the physical copies for collection. Also, because they sit there and they constantly triple and quadruple in price all the time. So
Jay, that's a great
physical copies.
It's a great point, and I think it's more of a great point than you even kind of realize, because literally by saying like bottles are kind of for the collector, not only is that so true, but if you are in fragcom of any sort, you know how easy it is to get decants. Like it's so easy. So really, if bottles mean nothing to you, then there's really almost no reason to buy them at all. Like literally at all.
That's true.
People will, and people love the collect, and people love the bottle and think decants one way or another. But man, I mean, how often, Jesus, you're a Creed Aventus guy, can you pick up a 50 mil that typically has like 52, 53 mil, that circular bottle with the magnetic cap? You know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've sold.
Yeah, the fragrance addicts and stuff all the time. It's a great way to buy Aventus, but it doesn't look pretty.
You can get. I've sold them myself. I've tried to make them look as beautiful as possible. Some people really enjoy them. If you haven't discovered Aventus, if you want to try it for like a good price, it's definitely the way to go. But some people, I have a buddy of mine. He has an Aventus bottle, but he got a tester, so it doesn't have a cap and it doesn't have the box, and it drives him crazy. He likes the presentation. You know what I mean? He literally says he will not wear it until he has a cap for it. Like some people, it'll drive crazy. But if you don't care, you just want to smell good, get decants. You know what I mean? It's affordable. You can probably pick up, for the price of one Aventus bottle you're going to pay, you could probably get a good amount of solid decants that are going to actually last you, and you can get multiple wearings out of for the price of one bottle if all you want to do is smell good. But I'm like you, man. I like the presentation. Everyone knows I like presentation. Killian's one of my favorite houses for the presentation.
That on my shelf at night, I would toss and turn. I swear. And I hate that about myself.
Right?
I would look over at it. Okay. This is ambient. Taking this cap. And I think a lot of people are like that, but it's not important. It's not important at all, but it'll never change sometimes.
I like it. Highlight Civilized Redneck's comment really quick, please. I 100% agree with that, man. Especially as a reviewer, if you want to save money, you want to give your honest feedback, decants are the way to go. You don't need a bottle to go ahead and you don't need a bottle of anything to go ahead and give your honest opinion on the scent. You're able to definitely push out more reviews and actually quality ones when you have like decants, because you can pick up a 5 ml decant, 10 ml decant, and you can get a solid wearing out. You can get a feel for the scent, spray it on tester strips, and you can push out more videos, quality videos, than you would get with purchasing one Aventus bottle. Yeah, you have full presentation and now you smell good, but what happens after you push out that review? You don't got no more content. So decants is 100% awesome for like reviewers, influencers, whatever you want to call it, because you can go ahead and review multiple fragrances. You know what I mean? So I 100% agree with that. Civilized Redneck couldn't have said it better.
Also, raise your hand if you've ever watched a YouTube video and you've cared that someone's flashed a decant and threw a picture up in the corner and said, "Oh, this is what it really looks like. This is all I got." Has it ever?
I like when they do that. Like, to me, I rather have the picture on there because I'm able to see it clear. It comes across better, and you can actually get an actual look of the bottle. I don't care if it's a decant, a roll-on. If I like your personality, you're entertaining to me, I'm gonna watch whatever. It could be a damn Febreze spray. If you're funny, if I like your content personality, I'm gonna watch it. I don't care if you're reviewing decants, bottles, whatever. I agree with you, man.
I'm just here to see what your take on the fragrance was, your description. But it doesn't really matter if they're holding the bottle or not.
Exactly.
But I know to some people it's important. They want to see how the bottle is because they like collecting. They want the bottles and stuff. So it is good if you get yourself you could get some decent editing programs for cheap, like $40. You just add a picture of the bottle on the screen so they get an idea of how it looks.
Absolutely.
It is important enough. On the videos, it's not important to me, but it is important enough for a decent percentage of the viewers. So you could, you don't need the bottle, but you could just put it on the screen, with an editing program that costs you a few bucks.
See,
absolutely.
That's awesome right there. That's cool. Like you said, you could spend $40, save your money, pick up multiple decants, and you don't need the full bottle. I agree, man. That's if you're on a budget, you want to do quality reviews, all you need is a decant, good software like he's saying, and you're good to go. I will watch your videos. I don't care if you got the bottle or not. Because in my personal opinion, if you want full presentation, we have influence reviewers that are awesome that offer that. Gen Sense offers that. Redolescence offers that. Brooklyn Fragrance Lover offers, those type of reviews. Joy, they all do like really in-depth ones. So everyone has a certain place. There's like true collectors who like to watch that kind of stuff. And then there's like the masses who just want to know how did it smell? Does it smell good? Where can you find it?
I just found you Creed Aventus full presentation. Boom. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. There you go.
Yup. There you go.
Creed Aventus.
That's an presentation. You can tell by the bottle.
Hey, that bottle looks funny. Is that even really Creed Aventus?
No way, probably not. Ooh, look at that sprayer. Oh my God.
Let me see.
Check out the 1-star rating.
What is that? Wish.com?
This is Amazon, brother man.
Why that juice looks different on my bottle? Why the color is different?
But yeah, you guys make great points. You'll never please everybody. You'll never be able to convince everybody that one thing is better than the other. But we've gotten onto this topic now. But if there are newbies watching, or even guys that have been doing this a long time, I'm sure can have and will continue to echo in the comments. Decants are great. They're fantastic guys to get it. Gosh, if you're going to go into Macy's, what would you call an average? So say I'm even getting out of like the Dior Sauvage and stuff, but are you going to bottle of like Polo Red at Macy's or Polo Black or something that's going to be like between $90 and $110? If you're okay with 3 to 5 milliliter decants, dude, fill your cart up with like 12 at $5 a piece, $6 a piece, and go nuts.
Bro, I agree with that, bro. Or a lot of people don't know about this. I didn't know about this till I started watching like YouTube videos and hearing people talk about it, or got into like the Fragcom itself. Fragrance Net will save you so much money. I know a lot of us know about it, or not even Fragrance Net. There's like what is it, Fragrance X, and there's another one, something by, what is it, CA by, I can't remember the name of it. But you can definitely pick up full bottles for really good prices. You'll probably pay for like Prada L'Homme in store. You'll probably pay like $70. I can't remember what the price was. I saw it and it was ridiculous. Fragrance Nets has it for like $30.
Absolutely. Medina. I'm gonna apply some more because I'm in my own damn house and I don't care who I offend.
Yeah. End of the day, fellas. Yeah, post them on the chats. What's your end of the day?
I feel now this is not accurate because it's obviously not true because any fragrance can be applied too heavily. But I've yet to find the day that I can apply this too heavily. This is so nice. This is so likable, fruity, fresh. I mean, this is like an 8 spray worthy fragrance. Seriously. Not to say you should.
I'm wearing this.
It's good, man. It's so easy to wear.
I'm glad.
This was my scent of the night.
Twilight Woods.
Twilight Woods. I just hopped out the shower before we started the stream. I wore the shower gel, the moisturizer, and everything. Oh, when I hop out the shower, in the day I wear a cologne or fragrance. In the night I wear shower body sprays.
Hey, that's a good thing right there, bro. You still want to smell good. You want to smell clean. You want to smell fresh to bed, but you don't want to waste your expensive ass fragrances.
Waste it.
Yeah, I like wearing these when I hop out the shower just to run around the house. I just throw these on. I mean, I might as well use the good stuff because I have enough of it, but I like a lot of these. A lot of these smell really good.
Plum Japanese to bed.
Whoa, ballin'.
It's meant to be sprayed. It's meant to be loved and enjoyed. If I can fall asleep smelling my favorite scent, it was spray well spent.
I love these because I could spray them, then I spray it on my pillow, on the mattress, and like spray it everywhere. And they're like
$4 on my pillow. You're right about that.
Spray them all over, and they smell good. Don't sleep on Bath and Body Works. They have really nice smelling scents.
Bath and Body Works.
They have really good fragrances. Really good body sprays and stuff. They only last like 2 hours, but you pay like $4 or $5, so they're not expensive.
Absolutely. Yeah, body sprays are great. Is that one is it considered a unisex or where is it placed at in the bottom?
Yeah. This Twilight Woods one is it's kind of creamy and fruity. It's nice though. They have the X type of body sprays for men, and those are considered for men. They have like mahogany wood and teak wood and like these other ones, and then these I guess considered for women, but they're all mostly unisex because they all smell like stuff you will spray all over the house.
Yeah.
They
great point,
gingerbread and cherry and apple pies, and they smell like they have like 200 scents. So out of those 200, you get like a few of them.
That's another good thing. I believe Civilized Redneck and Howie already said it, but I missed it because something's going on. Decants are another way, not just for you to experience multiple fragrances, but for you to find out what you need that much decant. You can get a nice 5 ml decant. You can find out what you like. Do I like the scent? Is it worth it? And you can always find them like on Fragrance Addicts. You can find them in some of the groups. Always do a legit check. Always do a background. But there's really good Brian Thomas on Facebook. I can vouch for that man. If you want his exact link, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook. He does awesome decants, and he really puts a lot of quality into them. He ships really quick, but he does like 5, 10 ml, so you're able to actually experience the fragrance, and he doesn't charge you an arm and a leg. I believe it was 2.5 weeks ago. I felt really bad for the gentleman. I can't remember his exact name. He posted on Parfums, the Marley group, that he literally spent like $276 for samples, like 5 ml samples. Like it wasn't even that much.
I saw that too.
Yeah. I felt really bad, so I told him like, "Hey man, try to get your money back." And he actually hit up this gentleman for decants, hit up this gentleman for bottles. So whenever I see that, I try and like stop the sale, make them cancel it, whatever, and actually point them in the right way so you can actually, because he spent 200 something, and I believe the guy that does the decants, Brian Thomas, would have gave him every single decant 10 milliliters for $150. So it was like pretty much almost half, and he was getting 10 mls instead of like 5, 7 mls. So Facebook, again, is a really good way to get decants, find fragrances, but know who to trust. Always do a legit check. If someone gets offended because you're going to do a legit check on them, then they're probably hiding something. Me personally, I don't care. Just because I have a YouTube channel, don't trust me. If you don't, go ahead and do a legit check on me. Ask around. People will tell you I've done swaps, trades. No matter who the person is, if you don't feel comfortable, pay goods and services and do a legit check. That way you're insured.
Absolutely. Fellas, we are coming up on 2 hours live.
Yeah, I was about to tell you guys that I wanted to keep it. I was going to tell you that 5 minutes ago when it was at 150. We're on 2 hours. It's been fun. Wanted to keep it, no longer than I like keeping them around an hour and a half. But since we have when it's more people, 2 hours is good. So that way everybody could get enough time to say their piece. So I think, I think 2 hours is good, fellas. Check these guys out. We're gonna, you guys after the video's done, on the comment section, post a link to your channels. That way the viewers could check it out, hit the link, and subscribe if they're interested in doing so. And we covered a lot of ground. We had a good conversation about this topic, and hopefully we do it again next week. And hopefully you guys tune in next week, man, because the chat makes it happen. The viewers make it happen, and you're longer chatting. And also, when you put stuff out on the comment section, we could bounce ideas off of that. We could read your comment, and then we get to talking about that. So it gives us something to talk about as well. It gives us material, a topic, or whatever.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Really, hit the like button on your way out. Show the support. Appreciate everybody watching. On the description, I also have a link to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. And I guess any last word for you guys?
I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you can do me a favor, go ahead and check out my buddy Sense by Sean on YouTube. Definitely subscribe worthy. His thumbnails are on point. His videos are on point. He pretty much has the confidence, the whole setup and everything. So definitely check it out, man. Really, really good videos.
Absolutely. I love being here, guys. This is literally my favorite thing, is talking about fragrances. And you can only talk so much about fragrances and videos due to time limits, due to rambling and keeping things concise. So this is a cool way to get thoughts, opinions, and stuff just in an open sense. I had a blast. Awesome quality gentlemen. Definitely check out both of their channels. I hope you guys have me back, because this is a lot of fun. The chat,
anytime, brother.
So awesome talking to the chat. It's the most fun part. These two guys, with the chat, that's where it's at. It's what keeps it engaged and fun. So
we're gonna definitely hit you up a day or two before the next stream, just to see if the schedule works for you and so forth.
Absolutely.
Make it happen for sure. All right, fellas, it's been fun. Peace. Much love.
Hold up, don't. Oh, he took off.